Guys, it's Brick Building Babe, and today we're going to do an investment analysis of a set that I personally own, which I'm really excited to share with you because this was something I really wanted, and that is the Pac-Man arcade set. So if we go to Brick Set or Brick Fanatics, we can see that newly discovered and newly announced, according to Brick Fanatics, that the arcade is going to retire in 2025. So it came out in June of 2023. So that would put it at, if it retires at the end of 2025, um, about a 2.5 year shelf life for what I think is an awesome set. So if you guys don't know the set, it's a little tabletop Pac-Man. Most of everything you see here, um, yeah, it's just so cool. I don't know where I was going with that thought, but it's basically two separate pieces. There's the buildable format of the actual arcade, and then there's these ghosts and Pac-Man himself, and they actually can flip. Um, and then the whole back opens up, and you can see, the mechanics of the incredibly complex Technic set for the actual gaming console. But then there is a little girl with an exclusive Pac-Man shirt playing a mini Pac-Man machine in the back, which is just a really cool little feature. So we have to show you this video um, of it showing the Pac-Man. So there's the flipping. Cool light up. That's the best part. So super cool. It's got the light up coin. There's a little joystick in the front that you can like you can mock play. There's two buttons. You saw the flipping. It's really cool. I will say it's a little bit challenging because the mechanics of this plate are pretty difficult, and they kind of hurt your fingers. You have to like all these little dots are really tough to get in, but it's also a really fun build at the same point. When you get that mechanics to work correctly from the instructions, you feel really good. So I have this on display, but more looking into what the actual set is. It is set number 10323, retails for $270. I fortunately got it on the secondhand market for a lot cheaper than that. But unfortunately, I am missing these little guys on top, so I just have the build, but that's okay. So that's just me personally. And it has 2,600 pieces, so about right on par for that 10 cents ratio, and marketed for 18 plus. You can see it has one minifigure. This minifigure is exclusive, and really interestingly enough, I haven't actually looked to see if people want this minifigure. So if we look at this minifigure, I didn't realize that her shirt actually had the Pac-Man logo on the front, and actually she's doing a lot better than I expected. If we look at her sales, the the new list price is about 26. People are only paying, under $20, but most of these aren't listed for under $20 anymore. So that's actually really interesting to note. I didn't realize that she would be that desirable, but I guess, if you really want a Pac-Man shirt, this might be the only one that exists. Uh, so that's something to keep in mind. I do have her. I was able to get that. I was just missing the part on the top, so I have the cool little build. But if we look at items currently for sale in Bricklink, everything sealed is only listed at the list price. So that's partially telling me that a lot of people aren't able to get this at really good discounts. So keep that in mind from a supply perspective. So if we look at Brickset, um, yep, came out in June 2023, supposed to retire end of this year. It has a 4.4 rating, which is pretty solid. And if we look, 3,000 members own the set and 2,000 want it. So these are about par. Like especially the 2,000. I feel like there's so many sets that have this 2,000 range. But interestingly enough, this is a relatively expensive set. So still having that 2,000 is kind of high, but we see that only 3,000 members own it. Um, I'm kind of surprised by this. I thought this set was really cool, um, personally, and I think this is a really cool set, especially for the average person. Everybody knows Pac-Man. Um, and having that functionality, it's a really big, fun, but easy display piece, and it goes into man caves, it goes into kids' rooms, it goes into arcade rooms. Like it just applies to the general masses. So you have to remember that people on Brickset are, big Lego fans. But at the same, I'm shocked. I'm shocked that only 3,000 say they own the set. Um, but yeah, so there's that. Then if we look at Amazon, so this is it says it's Lego exclusive, but I don't I'm not sure I really believe these brick sets because Amazon definitely has it. Sold by Amazon and shipped by Amazon. And you can see right now they have it listed at the retail price. It has 4.8 out of 5 stars. Pretty solid, but only 200 bought in the past month. So the demand is not all that high. Not a ton of people are buying this. However, however, if we look at the Keepa chart, very interestingly enough, um, it only first came out uh, for like a month in 2023. Then it was not available until 2024. But we can see since 2024, Amazon has had it in stock and at list price for the entire year. I don't know what these warehouse deals are. That's something that I've never seen on Keepa. Platform. Oh, interesting. So they had discounted on returned open box. I didn't know that one they did that, but two, um, it would show on Keepa. But that's kind of cool. I'll take that out for now because that's a little bit of an exception. Most likely those are like damaged box or opened or some issues. But you can see that if we look at Amazon and the buy box, everything was about retail. A couple little discounts, but not significant discounts. There's one really quick jump right here, which is still not below 220. So not even $50 off. But this is what I'm most interested in. So this is like right around Christmas time, and I have no idea what happened here. Um, but what I'm really happy to see is through these last few weeks through here, when Amazon didn't have it in stock, it was listed for 300 new. And I would imagine there were some sales that were through this period. But, something to always consider is that if people pretty much value the set as what it's listed at. So if you can get a good discount on this, it, in my opinion, will be pretty easy to resell it at the retail price and or even this higher 300 range, which is, only $30 more. It's not a crazy bump. But seeing that some people are looking to get more out of it, that's a good sign. So if you look at Lego Pac-Man on online, we do see that there's some pretty good deals for brand new boxes. However, many of them are damaged. The ones that seem to be under the retail price. We have this one. You can see this is kind of all beat up on the sides. This one has like a pretty big scratch in it. So of course, if you buy something like this on Amazon, you might get that as well. But you just don't have the protection, and the resale value usually goes down when the box is damaged. Um, but there are some people that are trying to get more out of it. Um, but what's really telling, so let's take a look at um, what actually was sold. Show results for, where's the actual sold? Oh, sold items. All right. So if we look up Lego Pac-Man sold, we can see 220, 220, less than 200. So what's interesting is the secondary market is significantly lower than the retail price. Um, we can see a lot of pre-owned though. So here's a new. 232, brand new 200. That's a pretty solid deal. Um, so very interestingly enough, if you were to want to buy one of these, this would be the best place to buy. It's definitely the cheapest on here, but unfortunately, a lot of people, or somewhat fortunately, I don't know, either way, people don't necessarily like to shop on eBay. There's definitely risks to it. Um, and and a lot of people will go to a main retailer to actually buy something. So I find this really, really interesting that brand new sets are going at the rate they are, considering it's been at retail. So there's a lot of people that are reselling it right now, I think, that are losing a lot of money. Because after the fees like this, 240 with delivery, you couldn't buy it less than 225, at least again on Amazon. If you guys know of a really good deal, um, that would definitely factor into my analysis. But yeah, I don't know. This is definitely changing my thought process. I didn't really look at the sold and notice that many of them were being sold for under that 220 price. A lot of them are at that 225, which I think is a very solid discount, but I don't think you could find that very readily available. Anyway, okay, let's keep looking. But yeah, so this is not an exclusive. It's available at Target. I don't know if this is Scheels or Shields. We don't have these stores. Lego, Walmart. Um, so definitely available at multiple retailers, which gives me hope that it'll have a pretty good sale at some point throughout the year. Um, and I was trying to look and see if there's any kind of like comparable arcade set to look at, and the only one I could really think of is Atari, and that just retired. So, this is supposed to do really bad post retirement, but I think part of that is because um I don't know, if you bought it at 240 and are selling it at 270, yeah, you're definitely like making break even or losing a little bit. But if you're able to buy it at 200 and selling it for 270, it's not that bad. I mean, they're not home runs, but you're not really looking to lose money. But I think in comparison to the Atari, so if you haven't seen the Atari, it looks like the regular Atari. I think it's kind of cool, especially if you like Atari. Nothing I really need, but you can see that you can plug in the cartridges, and there's like a flippable area that gives a little scene, and there's a couple of like iconic game things. So it's kind of cool. It's got the joystick, but personally, I think Pac-Man is a much bigger, much more known item, and the functionality of it is just so impressive. But will that deter some people? Yeah, I do think maybe that's why not as many people own it, is that it's just very intimidating set, um, because of its challenge level. So let's just dive into kind of my overall thoughts. Um, so I think the shelf life's pretty solid. 2.5 years, right on the money. If it was 1 year, my opinion would definitely be changed. I think the supply, after looking at that eBay, I'm now kind of leaning more towards putting supply in the middle because it looks like there's a lot of supply in the secondary market. And because of that, the price is keeping it down. Uh, so I'm going to switch that up. Discounts, I haven't really seen many good discounts. That's a plus, knowing that you'll be able to sell it for that. But if we can't buy it at less, it's going to be hard to make money off of it. Demand, pretty pretty standard, right in the middle. From what I see and what I would expect. Collectability, I'm actually going to move this up. I think on a collectability scale, you could see that I try to think this through, but as I discuss, my opinions change a little bit. I think the collectability is actually pretty high. Um, this is the only Pac-Man set that's ever come out, and it looks just like a mini arcade. Has the functionality of it's like you look at this, you know exactly what you're looking at, and I just think it applies to the masses. Um, And uh yeah, I just said okay, now that I rearranged everything. The potential growth, um I'm still gonna keep it as a D because I don't particularly see this set going up to 400, but it could maybe go up to 350 if I had to imagine, considering in this 2 weeks over the new year when Amazon was out of stock, it was being sold for 300. I think that's a pretty good sign. Yeah, it's only $30 more, but if we can find a really good discount, which I'm hopeful that maybe there'll be one good discount on either Target, Walmart, or um, or Lego themselves, that we could potentially have a good growth. Um, so in comparison, I usually refer to this potential growth as in reference to the retail price. And I think it could be solid. It could be 80 to $100, which is actually pretty good for a $270 set. I personally really like the set, so that's something I need to work on is keeping my personal opinions and preferences on how cool sets are because not everybody thinks like that. But I think given kind of what we've seen, I think there's potential. I think it's promising. I think it's cool. And yeah, I'm going to give it a B ranking. I think this could be a pretty solid investment. It's a really cool set. It's the only Pac-Man that has ever come out um, that's in any kind of Lego format, and it's very, very functional and an awesome display piece. So, given those factors, we're going to give it a B. What I'm going to be looking for through the rest of the year is a good discount. I would love to see this set be at that $200 buy-in price range. And one thing, if you guys agree with me, is you could start buying some on eBay, um, and taking the risk and stocking up that way because right now it is going for that $200. But if you're a reseller, especially on like Amazon or something like that, I think you have the higher potential to, sell that for the 300 plus. I like to sell locally, so that's part of the reason why I evaluate the potential growth differently is that because I sell locally, I don't have all of the fees. And if I do sell, I usually only sell on like Whatnot, and that's, 8-ish, 8 to 10%. So it's not crazy. Granted, I won't likely sell something this big on Whatnot because it's really hard to ship. Um, but I'm not thinking of the insanely high fees that typically exist with eBay or Amazon, but I use those prices as a good benchmark to determine my local prices. So, hope you guys kind of enjoyed this. This is something I have now become a little more interested in knowing that it's going to retire. Um, I still do think it's hard for me personally to invest in some of these, over $100 sets because they are a pretty big risk and they take up a lot of space. Um, so it's something I have to consider. But if there are some really good deals, I'll probably pick up some. This kind of reminds me of like The Office. It like never went on sale. It might have one really, really good discount and you can maybe make a quick flip even to retail value. Um, right after it retires. So we might experience something like this. But I think this also could be one of those sets that, like, in a long time could do well. I like to typically sell things quickly because I also like to buy things. I like the instant gratification. So within a year or two is kind of where my target is. And I don't know, this potentially has the ability to do really well in like over 5 years, maybe over 10 years. It's just so unique in my opinion. And I don't know. I know Pac-Man isn't talked about much, but you never know. You never know. I still think everybody knows Pac-Man, but I don't even know what Gen Alpha, is that what the young ones are? I don't even know if they know Pac-Man is. So 5 to 10 years is probably like the biggest sweet spot. All right. So thank you guys for listening. I hope you found some enjoyment. Again, this is all for entertainment and opinion purposes. This is not financial advice in any way. But if you guys liked this content, please like and subscribe. That lets me know you guys are listening and want me to continue this, as well as making comments and letting me know if there's any other sets you want me to look at in particular. I really enjoy talking this through and thinking about and speculating what might happen with the value of these sets. It's really fun for me. So, hope you guys have a good day, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.